Okay, I think we are starting. I am testing and we are live, double checking the settings. Hey everybody, we will be starting at 9 p.m. sharp. Hi Brent, how are you? I'm gonna bring him and say hi. Hi Dale. Hi Carl. Hi Algae World. And hello Sahara. Hi Yamosh. And also Mercy Mount. Okay. Hi, everybody. We'll be starting at 9 p.m. sharp. Let me, sure, Dale, I'll add you up real quick. This is the early jam session. We start at 9 p.m. sharp. Hi, everyone. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hey, I just thought I'd come in and say good day.
Hey,
Like,
Dale.
yeah. Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah. I don't know how much you know about me. I'm just an NFT artist. On the Algo ran like blockchain and some of my
Nice.
art.
Oh,
Thank
nice.
you.
Yeah, I actually finally finished publishing my first NFT. Well, I'm featuring an artist, and it took me a little bit because I had to make more content out of it. So, but I'm done. I'm waiting for my developer to publish it so I can start distributing and asking everyone. What I did was I took a episode where we interviewed colorblind Adam, colorblind underscore Adam. His project is NFT as longevity project. So this was his third. He was donating his NFT art to a longevity researcher, three of them. So I met him on the third, on when he was working on the third researcher. So ironically, I actually know them. So it was nice. So I ended up like cutting up the Twitter spaces that we did together to make it into this beautiful story. And then of course it wasn't like, as a designer, I can't stop. And so so I can't wait because I want some of the NFT artists to take a look at it, and then I want to feature some of them because I just can't stop. I'm like, I'll look at it and I'll be like, oh my god, I need to talk about this person, this part of the story and what they talked about. So I'll sit there and cut little snippets and do. It's kind of it's so when I say when I do multimedia, I do multimedia. It's like, but it's fun. I love it. It's so tell me, Dale, tell me about your art.
Yeah. So it's funny how you say multimedia because I've had to like teach myself all the different things. Like, at the moment I'm focusing on 3D art as like GIFs. So they like rotate and it's like fantasy art. I won't pin any posts because I think this is probably maybe not the spot for it. But if you
Yeah,
wanted to
maybe
check it out,
I'm definitely gonna have you come back and we're gonna chat some more. But I just want to know more about, yeah, because fantasy art, is
yeah,
that like with fairy tales, fairies?
yeah, kind of like that fantasy, like medieval sort of style. Maybe like sometimes like sci-fi, but mostly like big monsters, and it's very much like the game style of things, if you know what I mean. Like as if it looks from a game. But yeah, and so yeah, because I think you're friends with Bobby Becker or
Yes,
something.
yes. Bobby, I love
Yeah,
Bobby.
yeah. So she got in touch with me. Followed you because of that. But yeah, so she's a big fan of my art, and yeah, it's mostly just simple sort of collections and stuff for people to own and buy. Um, and I am looking more into like story based, like interactive pieces and stuff as well. People can like interact with the piece maybe through buttons or like one idea that I was thinking of doing is that it changes over time. So based on what your clock says, it'll show that in the time on in the NFT. So like the day and night will change as like when you look at this statue or something, as the day and night in your life changes too. So it's like more interactive, real pieces. But yeah, lots of ideas in the works. But yeah, mostly just fantasy 3D stuff. But yeah.
Right, I actually like grew up and experienced a lot of that, so I totally understand.
Yeah.
I'm a yeah, well, I think I don't know, maybe because I'm a Gen Xer, we kind of like had that whole nostalgic era also, and we
Yeah.
experienced it all. So I think we can think either way. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's hard to explain. I don't know. It's a Gen X thing. I think I kept saying that to people. People are like, "What do you mean by that?" I'm like, "Well, I'm a Gen Xer. We experience different things compared to
Yeah.
the millennial or Zoomer. It's just
Yeah.
and we saw art in a different way, and compared to every generation has their own view on what is art.
Yeah, no, of course. Like, yeah, because I'm heaps inspired by like those old school games, like all the fantasy games, and I guess like D&D as well. Although I haven't really played heaps of it. But I thought I'd just point out too, just because this Twitter space is about scams and crimes and NFT. I thought I'd mention that. So I sell through Algorand, so similar to Ethereum, where it's just like a coin. But they have released a new website called Zestbloom, and in that they're implementing artificial intelligence to recognize if there's any like copies of NFTs, like if like the idea that say you would just take a copy of one of my artworks and put it up or whatever and try and resell it as your own. They're using artificial intelligence now with these websites to try and just be a bit more aware of that. So I don't know. I just thought I'd bring that up. Zestbloom on Algorand. It's like it's just a new technology that they're using, just because it relates to what you're asking and talking about. But yeah,
Oh, I'll definitely have to bring you back so you can tell us more about it. But Alberto, who is my co-host, he's here. Alberto Daniel Hill. Hey, Alberto.
Hey, Tonya, how are you? How's everybody?
I didn't recognize you.
I knew it. I knew it. I mean, yeah. When you change, I mean, when you change your profile picture, I make a poll and I ask, "Do you recognize me with my new image?" And most of the people say, "Who are you?"
Okay,
um,
so
I might just
Dale.
head out before you start. Yeah.
Well, no. Dale, this is my co-host, Alberto. We have to get you on our show, the next
Oh
on
yeah, I'd love
another
to be a part.
episode. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then so we can. I love. Like I said, when you educate, you prevent, right? But also when you educate, you inspire. So I'm kind of curious. I want to know more. I'm just, like I said, I'm a communication consultant, but I feel this is the way to go. So I
Yeah.
want to
Well.
live it. So I want to
Yeah.
learn everything about everybody's platform.
Yeah, it's funny because I like was literally just doing an ask me anything like from about me on another Twitter space before. So I'm in like answering questions mode. So if you did have any like because I don't mean to talk too much on your space because I know you've got a plan of what you're thinking of doing and everything. But yeah, no, if you had any questions right now, I'm always down to like
Oh no,
answer.
no. I'm saying like next time I'm gonna
Yeah,
DM you, and we'll
yeah, no,
plan
100%.
something. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward
yeah.
to it.
Very keen. Okay, well, I might head out now then. I just was coming in to say good day.
Oh
But
no, no problem. Yeah,
thank
he
you
should
so
be here
much.
any he should be here anything hot shot. He should be here soon. I appreciate you. And thank you for even bringing it up too. I wouldn't have noticed it actually. But I've seen you in a space. We follow each other. I always see you. I always say hi to you. But I never really took a time to really knew what you were into. And I'm grateful that you told me.
Thanks so much. Thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely keep in touch. But okay, good luck with all the space and everything, and also nice to meet
Thank
you
you.
and everybody here. All right, I'll see you next time. See ya.
Okay. Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye.
What did I miss, Tonya? I missed something.
Oh no, I met no Dale. I actually Dale and I met, and we've been around, and so he's telling me about the Algo God NFTs. So I told him to come back so we can talk some more about it, about Algo.
About the artificial intelligence algorithm he was talking about when I came.
Yeah. So he's gonna
Oh,
talk more
that's
about it.
interesting. That's
So
very interesting. Yeah.
here come. Let me invite. Let's give Peter Bertha
Yep.
the
That's very
microphone.
interesting. Yeah, actually, it was Peter that the night we met at Hotshot, it was Peter that took me to his
His
place.
space.
Yeah, it was him.
Don't blame me for your shenanigans, Alberto.
He's the one.
But here's some good news. Oh, there's the man, the myth, the legend, and I'm bringing a bunch of NFT degenerates with me. Because
Hey, Mercy.
we were pre-gaming the space.
Well, I gamed the co-host. Hotshot. Let me see. Okay, there you go. Okay, I think we're ready to go. We promoted the heck out of this space, but if everybody could go ahead and share the space out and let everyone know we're getting started now. We're actually, I guess 3 minutes or 3 seconds behind schedule. But hey, everyone, this is Tanya Schultz. I'm known as No Aging. This is mine and Alberto, A. Daniel Hill. This is our weekly tech crypto space. We've been hanging out together in the early days of Twitter Spaces, and we joined force. So this is our episode 4. And again, this space is recorded on Twitter and also streaming on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, and on my personal page because I have to brag. So here I am. But Alberto, again, my co-host here. Alberto, I don't recognize you. I feel left out now. You changed your look. You changed your image without telling me. I didn't get the memo. What's going on?
Oh, Tonya, you're out of the NFT world. I mean, this is a bartender pirate, which is a limited collection of 1,000 bartenders, and this is the only one that has a pirate flag. So yeah, you are out of this world, Tonya. Yeah. I don't feel like you're part of my community. Yeah, I changed it last night. Yeah, that's right. Hello, Hotshot. How are you, Hotshot? Welcome.
And so this is our episode 4, and our special guest tonight is Hotshot, who I had the pleasure to speak to and sat in his space. I was co-hosting, and Hotshot. Before I even introduce you, I've been running analytics on my spaces. And so out of the blue, they let me know because your space had like 1,200 people in it or more. And they said that anytime I run a space that's over 1,000, they can't give me the rest of the analytics. What is it? Okay.
You're doing a great job, Tonya.
I know. I appreciate you for doing that. I'm going to let you down for a second, though. I've just, of course, I never really experienced that before. So I'm just saying, I go, God, it must be something really incredible. But here we are today, and you are the man, actually. So everyone meet OK Hotshot, known as at NFT Herder. He's a full-time crypto and NFT market analyst with an eye on security. So I appreciate everyone for being here, and you get an opportunity to find out more about him. But I'm still like so impressed that he's here. He's also, some of his work has been mentioned in DAP Radar, The Verge, Crypto Briefing, and NFT Zila. Welcome, Hotshot. Welcome to our Twitter space, Tech Crypto Space. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. I was very, very impressed with you sharing the analytics of my my space. I had no idea there were so many people listening. I just host them, and it seems to be, I don't know if that's just my sort of view on it, because I haven't actually done any analytics on the Twitter spaces itself like you have. But it seems like when I join spaces, I have some people that will join or sort of follow just to talk and chat, which is really cool.
So, can you tell us a little more about yourself? I mean, you are OK Hotshot. You don't. I'm not asking you for your name because I realize that doxing is a big issue here in the NFT community. So, what do you do, and why is doxing such an important thing in the community?
Oh yeah, sure. I can talk a bit about how I got into crypto and how I sort of moved into the NFT space. And then I can sort of touch upon your doxing question, which is actually a very important question, not only in the NFT space, but also in crypto, I feel, but more so in the NFT space, it seems. So yeah, I started in crypto as a miner, actually. I was mining Ethereum and like in the early 2015, late 2014, I was trying to get it to work. I was introduced to it through a colleague of mine who was very much into it, and he had like a garage full of these miners, and he was just mining ETH like 24/7. And I didn't really fully understand what was going on, and I sort of jumped in and tried to figure out how it all worked. And yeah, after that, I started mining for years. I still have a small rig, but I got rid of most of my mining equipment. And once Bitcoin hit like almost 20,000 US dollars in 2017, 2018, around that period of time, that's when I made the move into trading. I was trading before that as well, but not so serious. But that's when I started full-time trading, and I never stopped. So all those years from 2018 up till now, I've been trading. I still trade. But this year, I have mostly gone full-time into the NFT market, and my approach is almost the same. Like I do like a data-driven approach to my trades, where I base it on blockchain analytics and sort of use these indicators on Glassnode and the overall sort of technical analysis and a mix of fundamentals. And I try to do the same on the NFT market. It's a little different because the NFT analytics tools are still quite limited. So I'm sort of sort of gathering all this data in order to sort of make my market decisions. But I really like it. I mean, it's been an absolute joy getting into the NFT space. It's sort of a different crowd compared to the crypto space, which is overall way more tech centric. They've been around for years, most of them, and they have strong opinions about sort of the fundamentals of a token or of Bitcoin itself. And it's overall sort of a different vibe. And obviously, the NFT space, there's a lot of artists, creators, and that's not really the case in my crypto trading years. It's more like techies. So yeah, it's been a breath of fresh air, so to say. Getting into the NFT space has been really fun. As for the doxing part, well, that has to do with the intentions and why I created my NFT herder account, because I'm not a big Twitter user at all or social media user. But there were a couple of things looking from a security point of view that I thought I could add as value to the NFT community, because I saw a huge sort of huge empty space in the market, in the community itself, which was NFT security and sort of security conscious approach. And so I made this account, and I decided to tweet about sort of wallet analytics or wallet forensics, tracking on the blockchain, and sort of sharing data on the markets. So I'd share like market analytics, market moves, sort of share my charts, and but also I was tweeting about sort of these people that were, well, if you look at the wallet activity, you could say their intentions weren't as pure as people just wanting to sell NFTs. They were sort of like bad actors, and I just started tweeting about them, and that got a huge response. So I would tweet like about certain scams or exploits, and I would just share like verifiable information. I wouldn't do opinion pieces or attack people on their personality or that kind of stuff. I would just share like, okay, here, this is where the money was taken. This is where it went. This was the fake website they used to sort of steal the money, and sort of in an educational way, so people would learn something from it maybe, and they'd be able to avoid getting scammed or buying into something and maybe lose their money. So that's sort of one of the decisions I started this account, and that's also one of the reasons I'm unable to dox myself, because it comes with consequences. Consequences in real life, maybe, who knows? But there's definitely consequences if you share information that people don't want to be shared necessarily, because most of the market doesn't know where to look. I hope that answers the question, but it was a bit long-winded, but I hope that sort of explains it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I always tell people, okay, if you don't need to share certain information in your social networks in order to get what you want from a social network, then don't do it. I mean, ask yourself, why are you on Twitter, for example? Are you here to look for certain information, to, I don't know, to be in certain community? Do you need to post your real name in order to do that? If the answer is no, then don't do it. Don't share what you don't need to share. I share my real name, and until yesterday my real image. This is not my picture because of the reason I am here. But yeah, that's a very important issue. So tell me, do you remember the day that Tonya and you met you that night? What happened?
Yeah, that was a great introduction through you. I'm very glad to have met both of you. And I think we did correct me if I'm wrong, I think we did a spaces on Artifact, I believe, the Clone X drop.
Well, actually, Pieter that was here
Yep.
sent me to your channel, and you were having certain issue with your account, and well, and you were talking about somebody who had released a press release about, oh, the Discord server is down. We are victims of trolling, but wait until our moderator wakes up, and we, and after he wakes up, we will open our Discord. And Tonya was saying, that's the worst message they could ever send. I mean, they're creating panic instead of making people peace.
Yeah, we were. I think you guys joined the room because of the initial story about how my account got suspended, and then we sort of got into the Artifact sort of issues that were going on at the time, sort of in the background, that were sort of like gathering or gathering momentum. But to touch up about the account suspension, yeah, I've been tracking with a couple of other people in the community these scam rings, and they run like NFT scams or Discord DM scams or any other sort of NFT paid promoter scams. There's different types of rings in the market, and they all run their sort of their own hustle, so to say. And I think about like a month and a half ago, Andrew, a journalist that writes for The Verge, he opened a space about a hack or an exploit going on for Creature Toads, which is an NFT project. And I sort of jumped into the spaces because I've done wallet analysis for Andrew's stories in the past, and I've sort of jumped in to help him. And turns out one of the scammers stole 88 Ethereum from Creature Toads through an NFT Discord hack. And I was just tracking the wallet activity and sort of trying to find out what was going on. And I found their like social media accounts and some other people that were assisting. They found their video game accounts, and it was obvious that they didn't really sort of think it through. It was sort of like a rush job, it seemed. And we were doing it live, so I was sort of like talking and doing analysis at the same time, sort of sharing it with the other people in it, and just going through it. And I said one thing in specific, like specifically that data that I shared in that room, and then like 10 minutes later or so, that data was removed from that specific website, which you could have only known if you were listening in that space, which got me thinking that the person we're tracking were probably in that room. And so I decided to sort of call them out. Like I was speaking into the room and saying like, well, if you're here, and I assume you are, then there's still a chance for you to return the 88 ETH. I was referring to the one of the biggest hacks that happened earlier today. Sorry, not today, earlier this year, where they stole 600 million US dollars, and that was returned. So if that hacker could return $600 million, it shouldn't be that hard to return 88 ETH, which was around $300,000 to $400,000 at the time, I believe. And for some reason, within 20 minutes or so, that 88 ETH was returned to the creator's wallet. So yeah, that confirmed to me that that person was at least in the room. And then obviously we had to know why he did that. So I spoken to the void again, and I said, like, well, if you're here, you have returned it. So I'd really like to sort of know what your reasoning behind this all is, because why take that much amount of money and return it just for the sake of returning it, right? And the person DM'd me, and I had to verify that the person was actually a person and not some troll. And we got the person on stage. And we talked with this, which, you know, in his own words, is a 17-year-old kid who did it for fun. That was his reasoning, and then he returned it. We spoke to him for about an hour, and we got to the original NFT project creator in there as well, and we had them speak together. It got kind of heated because obviously there's emotions at play, but that was so unique. That sort of one space has never happened before. I don't think it ever happened in the NFT space or community, something like that. And that sort of started this whole saga almost of my account getting suspended and this ring coming after me. That sort of kickstarted it. There were over 2,500 people active in the room. I'm pretty sure if Tanya would have done the analytics, maybe there would have been more, but these were just the user accounts that were in the room. And like lots of websites wrote about the story, something unique that happened. But what they don't know is that because of that happening, it sort of started this whole saga with that specific group, because this person and the people involved with that original scam, they're involved with the scam ring that's been doing all these NFT scams in the past 3 months. And most recently, the most one of the biggest scams they've done is on Phantom Galaxies, where they stole approximately 1.1 million US dollars. And there seem to be no consequences for these people. And they also actively tried to silence my account because I was one of the few accounts tweeting about them. And they knew I have certain data on them as well. So yeah, they got my account suspended, and my backup account. So I had to sort of have a third backup account for a while. And I was just telling the story, and like Twitter wasn't doing anything. I wrote a Twitter appeal. These scammers took credit for getting my account suspended. They were sort of boasting about it on Twitter as well. So it should have been quite obvious that it was a false suspension, but Twitter ruled against it. Twitter actually said that they see no reason to unsuspend the account through the appeal process, which was kind of disappointing.
You didn't tell me that. Really? Get the hell out of
Yes,
here.
yep. I submitted the evidence of the accounts that claimed responsibility for the false reports, and in order, like I would say, I send it to him like, well, these are the accounts that are taking responsibility for getting my account suspended. These are also the accounts that were involved with those original scams. And their response was, well, even though you sent that data, we see no reason to unsuspend the account. So yeah, that was the last thing they officially communicated.
Wow.
And
I didn't know that.
yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you. When I joined your space, I'm gonna be honest with you. Let's just be. I didn't know what I was joining. It's just wherever Alberto tells me, Tanya, you need to be here now. I'm like, okay, I'm there. I'm here. Okay, what's going on? And then and then then you start asking me these questions. I was like, no, I wouldn't do that. It's so stupid. Why would they do that? I don't get it. So I still didn't even know what's going on. And then someone mentioned that your account, and I still didn't quite understand, and I was like, let's ask Reggie what's the deal about your account. And then I don't know. I was like, someone shared the video. I don't know who shared the video, but someone made a video for you and everything. That was so cool. So I didn't, to be honest, I did not know what was going on. I just joined because Alberta told me to. I freaking adore you. You were just so real and frank about things. And when you told me what happened, that you lost your account, I was just like, why? I don't get it. What happened? And I don't know. And then we tagged Reggie, and then when he DM'd me, it was just, it was good. I'm glad because, you are a community, like you have helped so many people in this community, and the fact of anything, like when people, there are not great actors out there, not great people out there, we know that, but I just can't get it, for what you do for the community, that something like that could happen to you. That really, I did not like that.
Yeah. Well, I sort of expected it would happen. That's why I made a couple of backup accounts even before starting this account. I just hoped they would have, I had a couple of more months before like the real retaliation would happen. But yeah, I was mostly disappointed in Twitter's appeal process. It's very hard to get an appeal at all. I never had the impression I was talking to a human. It seems to be all automated. And like in a more complex case, if like in my situation, it doesn't seem that that system works because obviously they flagged me for impersonation, but there was only one account on Twitter at the time, which was my account. There's absolutely no claim or basis to suspend the account for impersonation, but they did. And the appeal process saw no reason to unsuspend the account on basis of impersonation. So Twitter sided with the fact that the account was impersonating someone, which was absolutely not the case. They just mass reported it using alt accounts and choosing impersonation. And I think once you hit a certain number of reports within a specific number of time, it's like a small amount of time, your account probably just gets auto flagged, and then you're left to the sort of the mercy of this appeal process. In which case you, most likely won't get your account back. But yeah, the community, I was just sort of moved on to my next account, and the community followed along. But then they decided like this shouldn't happen. We need Hotshot's account back because it's unfair, like that these scammers and are taking everyone's money and also Hotshot's account. So yeah, the community sort of rallied together. They made a video. They hired a sort of, yeah, I don't know if it's like a reality star or like it's a very popular person called Hard Rock Nick. They hired him to make a video to appeal to the Twitter support page, so the Twitter support account, to get the my main account unsuspended. It got like almost 7,000 views, I think, and it was lots of retweets, and everyone tweeted and quote tweeted, which I'm very thankful for. And yeah, somehow it reached like your community, like through PETA, I think, and that's how Alberto and you sort of got into the room, not fully knowing what was going on, but there was definitely something going on, and that got onto your radar. And I'm very glad you were able to help out with this situation. I'm very thankful for you guys stepping up, because Twitter wasn't really listening. And this is where you sort of learn, like, okay, how do you, if you're going to tweet this kind of information out, it's like if you're going to tweet about like bad actors in the space, whether it's the NFT space or any other space, it's a very easy and quick way to get accounts silenced. Like if you have like $250 and you can sort of automate the reports to get accounts silenced based on impersonation, and the appeal process isn't really in favor of the people that get appealed that way or get taken down that way. So yeah, that's a huge issue. especially for people that have like worked on their accounts for long periods of time and sort of built a following. But more so if, you know, if the bad guys get away with it and they also silence their the opposition, like that's that's not good in my opinion.
No, the message is not good at all. And for me, I had an interesting story. I mean, 2 years ago, I was in the middle of a battle on Twitter between Scott Baio and Nico Regert. And on a Sunday, on a Sunday afternoon of October of 2 years ago, I remember, my account was suspended. I got a message from Twitter saying that my account was suspended. I don't remember the reason, and I appealed. And well, the supporters of Scott Baio started bragging that they took my account down. And then a few hours after that, I got an email from Twitter, and this is something I never heard before. The email from Twitter said, "We apologize. We made a mistake. Your account is back." I don't know what really happened, but I have a copy of that email because I never heard something like that before. I mean, they said, "We apologize for that. It was our mistake. Your account is back." It was something crazy. So tell me, what's the size of the NFT community, that your estimation? Because it's, for me, it's huge. I have no idea how many people are here on Twitter, part of the NFT community.
I can actually pull up some numbers that may be interesting. Let me check. Look, this is not exact science, obviously, but yeah, and look, I'm looking at active wallets in the market. You know, there's a couple of 100,000 active wallets in the market, but that doesn't mean that those are individuals. People could own multiple wallets, and it doesn't mean that every wallet in there owns a Twitter account or is part of the community. There's also a lot of people that just flip NFTs or trade them or sort of just buy them and hold them and don't do anything to partake in the community. They don't have to. You know, everyone's different. But it's an okay market. It's still very small. Last time I checked, if you look at the whole crypto market, if you would say the whole crypto market, including NFTs, is 100%. Of that 100%, a little bit less than 1% is in NFTs. So that's still a very, very small market.
You think it's gonna be bigger after this weekend from Miami? Because it's like I swear it's so funny. Because when I talk about it, earlier this year, everybody looked at me like I don't know what you're talking about. We're not into it. And now it's Art Basel, and I've been telling people, wait until Art Basel happens, wait until Art Basel happens. And now I jump into a space, and all I hear these people are talking about, what's going on in Miami and all these different things, and even people in Palm Beach County is talking about what's going on in Miami. So
yeah, I'm not sure if that has an impact. I mean, I was sort of looking at it when NFT NYC happened, and like a lot of people went there, and you actually could sort of see like less activity in the market. Overall, the market was taking a bit of a hit, so it could have been a correlation. But obviously, like most of like a big chunk of the NFT community is at like a conference for NFTs. They're most likely not day trading or flipping NFTs. They're mostly just partying, I guess, and hanging out and meeting people. So it's interesting to see, but the thing I'm looking forward to is the Coinbase NFT market release, because if only 1% of the Coinbase users goes into that marketplace, that would push the overall the current market over 1%. And ideally, I'd like to see the NFT market go to above 1% to 2 or 3% before the overall cycle ends. If that happens, most of these prices are going to go up, but we need sort of the market to double at least. That would be the best thing. but I'd like to see it sort of triple or quadruple if possible, depending on the sort of the lengthening cycle.
Do you think?
So tell me,
Hold on.
no, go
I
ahead,
just
Tony.
want to ask one more thing because all I hear today was all about inflation in the market, right? And what's going on in America right now with the gas price and all these different things. What are your thoughts on that? Because that's going to be like cost a little bit more for, let's say, an artist to mint something, or maybe they could turn around and have some let the buyer incur the cost. But what do you think that's going to change anything, especially now that?
I think there's going to always be inflation. If you look at like currencies, fiat currencies, they always come with this risk of inflation. And it doesn't surprise me at all if you look at the M2 money supply. You can actually track it. You can track it from February 2020, when sort of these lockdowns started happening, and that's when the money printer went parabolically up. You can correlate it. You can check out the dates, and it hasn't stopped since. So if you keep doing that for longer than 12 months, it's going to have an effect, and the effect is most likely going to be inflation. I don't see how anyone can deny that. Like they say, it's going to be what do they say? It's going to be transitionary. It's going to be like a temporary inflation. Well, inflation is part of any fiat currency. That's why that's just a risk of owning fiat, I guess. But from crypto's point of view, I think it's a very good thing. I'm very bullish on inflation because most likely it will increase the prices of my assets above the price that I got into it. So I think if you're holding crypto before the 2020 M2 money supply went parabolic, you're probably doing very well if you're still holding those assets. You're probably sitting on a nice chunk of returns. And if that keeps going, that will definitely lengthen the cycle. But being mindful of people not in the crypto market or not in the NFT market, it will hurt a lot of people in real life because inflation, it's sort of toxic, it's corrosive, it really changes people's life over a period of time. And there's things you can do, but mostly you're just as a citizen of a country, you're just at mercy of that inflation. Like, what are you going to do? You can't outwork it. If there's 8% inflation, what are you going to do? You're going to have to work 15 hours a week every year just to hold the same value, and then the year after that you're going to have to do that again. So that's like 20 to 25 hours, and you're going to have to do that indefinitely till inflation corrects, and then it takes years to sort of get the original value back, which is, if you look at the historical chart, it never does. So it's sort of this rat race that you can't get out of. You're not working against your competitors, you're just working against this percentage gain of inflation. So yeah, I do feel for the people that don't hold any assets in crypto or any other types of assets that are a hedge against inflation.
That's very interesting. So tell me, how many projects are being launched about NFTs every week, every day, or every hour? Because I think there are as many projects as people in the community.
Oh, lots. I haven't looked at those statistics for a while. The last time I tracked them was the end of September, beginning of October, and going from, I think, the early cycle of the market, which was somewhere in like February, April, May. That's sort of when the NFT market took off. I think it was around 7,000 NFT projects, which was still remarkably small. Only being Ethereum, I didn't track any other blockchains, so that was still quite small. 7,000 in a couple of months. But right now, if I would look, I think it would be a lot more. I think you're talking about like maybe a couple of thousand a month. Probably it's mostly these copycat projects that are doing it. Like they pump them out every day, like dozens a day.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, whenever I enter into a space, I mean, like every people there has a project running. So yeah, So tell me, what percentage of those projects are actually being successful, and what's the percentage of projects that fail, and what's, from your point of view, the reason of succeeding or failing when you're running a project about NFTs?
Well, if you look from a market perspective, if you're successful during a sort of local dip or a bear market, that's when you really get tested. Look, if the market is overall going up and people are willing to buy because there's sort of this momentum behind it, everyone can do well. But most projects will only get tested when the market turns against them. That being said, we did have a period in the market going from like October to November to now, where we took a bit of a hit. You can sort of see how well these projects are doing. And it turns out that most of the projects are sort of lagging behind, and there's a few exceptions. So for instance, I was tracking Bored Ape Yacht Club, and in the past month, so that's going from the end of October to around now, like the end of November, their floor went up from around 36 ETH to 47 ETH on average. So if you bought a Bored Ape in October, you've made quite a decent return. If you look at Doodles, which has a significantly lower floor, they had 1.5 ETH floor at the time, I believe, like end of October, and they went to about almost touching 3 ETH. So in a month, if you would bought 2 Doodles, you would have doubled your money, because the 2 Doodles, floor Doodles, would have cost you around 3 ETH, and then you would have made 6 ETH within a month, which is like a nice gain. That's almost 100% gain. People can do a lot with that money, especially if you're still working a day job, if you would just sell them again. So Doodles, Bored Apes, and the Mutant Apes, they did quite well over the past 4 to 5 weeks. Like the Mutant Apes, they went from they were just below 4 ETH floor, and they went.
Sonia, Herder, excuse me. Sonia, good night. It's Carlos.
Good night, Carlos. Thank you for popping in and listening. We gotta catch up with you.
No, yes, I well, let me tell you, I had a cataract surgery last Tuesday. I am just recovering, and I have my son here, and he wants me to draw with my new eyes, my new left eye. I feel like Steve Austin in the $1 million, $6 million man, and he's desperate because I'm listening to you, and I just have 3 things, which actually some just like three tips, which are they don't belong to me. They are, Lily Nicole Art, this wonderful girl who hosts so many spaces on NFT
yes, Liz
and
Nicole,
stuff.
yes, she's a friend of mine.
Yeah, and yeah, me too. I'm reading her book, by the way. She has a wonderful book on science fiction. It has place in 2027, but she's such a wonderful. It's just like a course on the future that awaits all
Like
of
Carlos, I
us.
hate to do this to you, but we're in the middle of a chat with NFT
No,
Herder.
I know.
But I wanted
No,
to I don't want to get sidetracked because his time is very valuable.
yes. Thank you for getting me to that right track. I have 3 just like warnings. Once something she said, and I did a capture. She said that one collector has been telling artists to tag others in tweets, and she's asking that before you do that and get your account restricted, I suggest using mentions to start conversations so that content quality and response rates can go up, because there are a lot of people making just like a mentions in bunch, like naming and a bunch of people together, and then you get repeated, and then there is another girl also conversing with Lily Nicole, and I'm finished with this. This says, Nowadays, many are using LinkedIn to spam others by sending them requests and telling to book a call without knowing the actual person whom they are contacting. Platform is good, but spamming is everywhere. They didn't leave LinkedIn too. So they are talking just like beware of this kind of spamming and this kind of thing that they are doing. And in the case of showcasing, for example, the last tweet I have from her here says, please showcase your work in this thread, and always please be careful to respond to the author of the thread and never to the person retweeting. Thank you. That was the thank you that Lily says here, and I also say thank you and go back to drawing to make it. Thank you for the time.
Good night, Carlos. We'll talk soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye
Yeah,
bye.
thank you, Carlos. Hotshot, do you by any chance have the recording of that night where this 17-year-old child, kid, show up in a stage with the scam? Because that would be amazing to hear. I mean, if you publish that as a podcast or something, it would be great.
Yeah, I have it. I still haven't added it though. I need to check the loves and the audio, so I have to do an audio edit out of it. But some people recorded it themselves and placed it on YouTube, and it got like a couple of thousand views, I think.
That's amazing. I mean, I really wish I want to hear that. I mean, so tell me, what are the tips, or how do you detect a scam, and what are the most obvious projects that are scams out there, and why do people fail into getting into those scams?
Well, mostly it's a mindset thing and an education thing. Like some people absolutely know they're like buying into a scam, but they think they can sort of play the scam and get away with a flip or make some money. That's not the best mindset. It's also very risky. And then there's a large part of the market that's just not aware of how these scams work because they entered this year. There's also a lot of crypto people that aren't necessarily familiar with NFTs, and they don't know how the scams play out. So they may think that they're buying maybe a potential valuable NFT, but then it turns out to be a dud. It turns out to be a scam or just go to zero. And as it comes to NFTs, that's like a lot of a lot of answers you could go with that one specific question, but it's very tough. I could answer like from a valuation point of view, from sort of like if it's like a proper scam, you have these sort of rug pulls where they sort of rug the NFT, walk away with the money, and never come back. You have these sort of low effort projects, which are basically sort of cash grabby. You mostly can spot the art. It's like there's not a lot of effort behind it, but it's still an NFT, and you buy it and you hold it, and the NFT will be there, but it's just not going anywhere. And then they're just like projects that fail for any other reason. Um, and then they're straight up scams. Like people just don't deliver. You buy the NFT and the team just disappears, or they do all kinds of things. So yeah, I'm not sure how to answer that, to be honest.
Okay, but okay, and maybe I assume there are also great projects out there that do not succeed, maybe because it's all about community. What do you think?
Not really. You don't have to be into NFTs and be part of the community at all. And there's also a large part of these scammers that will sort of raise the community flag in order to sort of gaslight the bag holders. So they'll rally with these emotional messages and say, we're all community, we're all a family, we're all going to make it. And then like a month later, they'll dump their bag on them and they'll be happy about it because they sort of think they're all in it together. And these people are just dumping on them month after month after month. These are very popular people because they play on emotions and they're not very data driven. If any of these people if once you support like one of these people that play on your emotions, it's sort of a brainwashing tactic. It's sort of like gaslighting. And even if you would show them the data, like if you would do a wallet analytics on these people, you can actually quite easily see that they're just taking money from their supporters. They're using them as liquidity, and I don't agree with that. But you can quite clearly see it. I've pointed it out in a couple of tweets. But most of those followers that follow those types of people, they seem to be sort of immune to the data. So yeah, what are you going to do? I mean, they're all adults, I assume. So it's their money to spend.
Yeah, well, so tell me, do you only post information about those projects that have red flags about being not legit, or do you also post information about the strong points of other projects? I mean, those projects that do not show any sign of being scams. Um, do you do both things, or only focus on posting information of those dangerous projects?
No, I post like a lot of things. I always try to give positive examples at the end of my threads. So I do these once in a while. I do these large on-chain analytics threads, which is like multiple tweets in a row where I show everything, and then at the end I give like solutions on how to avoid it and how to fix it and how to sort of arm yourself with security tips.
So
And in between,
since
yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, I just before I even forget, I keep thinking since we're talking about security tips and different things. So I had somebody earlier, they can't join, but Rainbow Mosho wanted to know that make sure we discuss airdrops, how safe, unsafe they are, kits on the blockchain, NFT, hashtag NFT kits. So I just want to make sure we talk about that too. I know we were going down the list.
Yeah, we can touch base on that. I've actually done quite a lot of research on that specific issue. So yeah, I also try to sort of show an example how it should be done, or I think it should be done, and give them and give people that read it sort of a solution. But to be honest, I also post a lot of memes just because I think it's funny. And in between the needs to be like a proper blend of market analysis and security stuff, and but we also need to laugh, like it's Twitter. Let's have some fun as well. So yeah, I've been making memes as well in between the trading and waiting for the market to move, and people seem to like them. So yeah, why not make something someone laugh, right?
Well, it's amazing. Yeah, I do the same when I host a space about security. I mean, laughing is a great way of handling the situation. I mean, they either become paranoid and panic and they don't sleep after my spaces, or they just laugh and then at the end they won't sleep at night because they are shocked. But no, laughing is having fun and it's amazing. I mean, we Tonya, you are a witness that in my spaces are crazy. I mean, uh, yeah. What do you think about my spaces, Tony? Are they serious? I think I deliver a message, but I don't know. What do you think, Tony, about the spaces of cybersecurity that I host?
Well, when I first met you, I got really paranoid. I got really like scared, petrified at the same time. But then I kind of like enjoy it, you know. So I was like, I kept coming back for more and listening to your space, and then I felt really comfortable, and then we've all been talking, and then so it just makes sense. And I was, a lot of things you guys told me about, I already was doing that already, was already know about it, and also some of the security tips I was already applying that to, for myself. So, and I'm pretty like I'm not gonna talk about it, but I'm pretty I'm paranoid about security so I felt like I found home, And then last night I went out to dinner. This girl I met, she was like, "Yeah, I'm taking this program at University of Miami for cybersecurity, and I want to do pen testing." And I'm sitting going, "What the hell?" Some random.
Yeah, I don't know about like. Of course, it's good getting an education, but you don't really need it if you can do the skill. That's the most important part. It's like just get a computer and start doing it. It's like the most effective way to do it, and it's also the fastest way to get ahead. Yeah, you can read about all those books, but get behind a console and start doing these. Boot up your virtual machine and start going at it. It's like the fastest route, I think.
She was so proud of
Yeah.
herself. I didn't want to burst her bubble, so I didn't say anything. I was like, okay. And
Okay, don't tell her that I am a computer engineer and in university I learned zero about security. Okay, it was many years ago, but at that time security was not an issue. And I can say that, yeah, I am a computer engineer, but that makes no difference on the knowledge or skills I have right now about security. I mean, it's just a paper. So as he said, I mean, and probably most of the people that are very skilled and I admire in this field, they don't have any degree or certification. I mean, they just have the passion for it and they learn by themselves, and that's it. I mean, unfortunately, I think the market, when it comes to finding a position in the cybersecurity world, they are just posting their own profile. I mean, they're asking for the wrong things in order to hire somebody, making a lot of um, I mean, they request a lot of things as certifications, degree, blah blah blah. That many people might have the knowledge and skills to be in that position without having those certifications, but unfortunately, uh, those who are hiring do not think like that, and they're missing a great opportunity to hire great human resources. That
Yeah.
should change.
Yeah, it's also sort of brings you back to the NFT market, like the first year of the market. That's what we're in, and for lots of the things that are going to be standard jobs moving forward, um, there's no degree for that. Like, if you want to be in NFTs, you got to make NFTs now. You can't go to school and do a course on NFTs at I don't know, Princeton. Like, that's not gonna happen. So if you want to be NFTs, you're going to start creating them and start learning from other people. That's the fastest way to do it. Like, if you want to, there's definitely going to be like courses and I don't know, all these kinds of um, like learning NFTs, the basics of NFTs. Like in a year from now, I think the Udemy's and the Khan Academy, that kind of stuff is probably going to be full of them if they aren't already. That's just the effects of a market that's moving up. But yeah, if you don't want to wait for that, you know, you should probably just start making NFTs, in my opinion, because you need to be first to market, man. That's way more powerful than waiting for the textbook. It's better to write the textbook than to read the textbook.
Yeah, to tell
I
you,
like that.
I take a lot of courses online, and I can tell you, in learning LinkedIn Learning, there's only one course about NFTs, Introduction to NFTs. I mean, only one. You look about any other field, cybersecurity, uh, put any other topic, and you have like 1,000 of courses. When it comes to NFTs, there's only one course, Introduction to NFTs, e-learning of LinkedIn. Yeah, if you go to Udemy, there are much more, but that gives you an idea of how this is just the beginning. And yeah, it's like you said. I mean, you should have to make the course, not take the course.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent for always learning, but you know, if you have a possibility to be first to market, that is a huge. You know, you don't want to let that opportunity go. That's you want to get in my opinion. At least that's how I look at it. Um, yeah, but we'll see them. You know, it's just you see that over and over. You saw that in the crypto cycle as well. Like, people that have been around in the 2017, the 2018 cycle. You got all these people that were like selling Udemy courses for like $250 just to tell you what an altcoin is and that kind of stuff. That will happen to NFTs as well. They'll make all the same courses, and you know they'll want to make money, but there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. I just think you don't really need it. Like, all the information is out there. It's just a time thing. If you have the time, you can learn it. If you don't have time, you can compensate with that lost time by paying someone else to tell you. Um, you know, but it is what it is. I can answer the question about the airdrop NFT if you want me to get into it.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yes, please.
Of course.
So yeah, I've actually spoken with the first person on Twitter that claimed to be hacked through an airdropped NFT, and most of the community said, "Well, that's impossible." Most likely it's a user error. This person clicked a malicious link in his email or somewhere else, and the wallet got exploited, and that's how this person's stuff got stolen. And I wanted to investigate it because there were other people claiming this as well, but there was no verification. So I contacted the original first victim, and he lost a significant amount of money. I think he lost somewhere around. Well, this was the valuation of the NFTs that were stolen. I think it was around $90,000. He had a hearse that was stolen. He had some other valuable NFTs that were stolen, and I was just sort of trying to vet his process. And he was saying he was crypto minded. He knew what was going on. So he didn't seem like unintelligent. He came from crypto. He knew how wallets worked and sort of these obvious scams. So yeah, I was like, okay, well, most likely this is user error, but let's check it out. And it came to a point where I asked him, like, are you willing to send the OpenSea emails you received the day of the attack? Because he received a couple of emails that said his there was a bid on his item, there was an NFT sold, that kind of stuff. So some other security experts, they got that info as well, and they concluded that it was a user error because that was most likely a phishing email that he clicked. That person never wanted to share that data with me. So I just wanted to go through the source code of that phishing email. He didn't want to share that with me. He got quite aggressive with it as well. So at the time, I had to conclude that it was most likely a user error, because in 99% of the times it is a user error. But then, like, that was sort of a dead end. And then, like, a couple of weeks later, I ran into a second person that was willing to share the data. And then that's sort of when I saw there was actually something going on with the NFTs itself. So these were turned out like I was missing a couple of pieces, and when Checkpoint came out with their report, that's when it all made sense, because there was this sort of this urban legend going around like a month and a half ago, when people like saying, "Oh, don't click the airdropped NFTs; they will hack your wallet. Don't click anything; just hide them. Don't interact with your airdropped NFTs, guys. The ghosts of the NFTs will drain your wallets." And there was this other side of the market that was just saying, "Yeah, that's impossible. That's fake. There's no facts behind it at all." But actually turns out to be 100% true. There were malicious airdropped NFTs, and the NFTs itself were a SVG file. And within that SVG file, there was a malicious code that would call a OpenSea subdomain, and OpenSea didn't correctly set the permissions of that subdomain. So if you could call to that subdomain, you could then sort of upload a file or code on that subdomain. And once your code is on that subdomain, you could call all sorts of stuff. Like you could call someone's MetaMask, and that's what they were doing. So through that OpenSea subdomain that didn't have the right permissions, you would then call, check for if they have a MetaMask. And if they do, you could send a transaction approval to MetaMask when they click the NFT or when they interact with it. So most people, they just go on OpenSea and they sort of mess around and they click and it just pops up like this approval signing thing. And they just click OK. And in this case, it would actually approve the ownership to the person that's doing the exploit. And that's how they stole quite some NFTs, which, yeah, it was 100% true story. OpenSea has patched that exploit code, and they've set the correct permissions on their subdomains. So it shouldn't be possible anymore. But it was 100% true story. And I even, after sort of figuring it out, which took me a couple of weeks, I even reached out to the original victim, saying that I was sorry for not believing him. But based on the data at the time, I had to conclude that. And he was like very respectful. He liked that I reached out to him, and he was like, well, thank you for doing the work and sort of confirming it. But that's the story with these airdropped NFTs. But it shouldn't be an issue anymore at all.
Actually, I think it should be OpenSea who should apologize for that. I mean, that's a huge problem from a company that is the largest market, I think, in NFTs. Having that problem with the subdomains is, wow, they didn't make their homework. It's scary. I would like to say hi to Chocolate down there. By the way, tomorrow afternoon, we will be hosting a space bilingual about cybersecurity and NFT with her. So I just give the information for those of you who are interested. Yeah, we are focusing on education, as you said, Hotshot. Education is the key to prevent anything of this kind of scams. Tonya, I think there was a question from ASDAF. He was raising his hand.
Yeah, yes, he was. I'm tweeting. Go for it.
Oh no, it was nothing. Hotshot actually covered it. Just want to say thank you, Hotshot, for all that you do. You truly do educate people, and I wish someday, you're able to kind of compact everything that you've learned over the years, and maybe even sell your own courses in this market that is saturated with all of these like people just trying to make a quick buck, and who are also trying to compensate for not having enough time, so they're left with those options. But just thank you for everything you do, Hotshot. Truly.
Thank you for your kind words, man. Yeah, there's a lot of people looking for that information, but they're also aware that most of the people don't even know what they're talking about. If you go into these couple of these spaces, it's like if you don't have the data, how can you come to those conclusions? It's almost like a shelling point. It's like, oh, yeah, this is just what we think we're going to happen. Because that's our default position about the market. Like, okay, like for instance, people think if you buy an NFT, it's a store of value, so it should go up over time. It's like, yeah, you can say that, and that's sort of the shelling point, but until you've looked at the data, you can't really come to that conclusion. And lots of people aren't looking at any data at all. I'm looking at the data daily, and it's still hard to get to these conclusions because the tools that sort of are available to look at it are very limited. You can't compare them like to charting on an exchange or like, and you don't have like a decade of like a Bitcoin charts to look at where you can sort of point back and see what the market was doing. Like you don't have like Fibonacci tools or that kind of stuff when it comes to the NFT market. And it's also a way different market. You can't compare it to like crypto trading. It's mostly done by market makers, like wallet movements. It's an illiquid market as well. So yeah, there's lots of people that sort of like to say stuff, and they're very opinionated, but their opinions are sort of not verified by any data. So yeah, I think it's kind of irresponsible to say any or to make any absolute statements unless you've sort of checked the data itself and or at least verify it. So I prefer a data-driven approach to these things. And yeah, people have been coming to me and sort of saying like, well, can you write a course about the tools you use or sort of the analytics you do? Maybe in the future I will, but it's not like part of a business plan or a model I have. Like I'm just an on-chain analyst for these markets, and in between I do these security things. So yeah, I have no intention of doing it unless I like. Maybe lots of people want me to do it. No, maybe I should consider that and listen to the people. Seeing they save my accounts, maybe I have to do something back now. But yeah, who knows in the future, depending on what the people want.
Well, the reason why I jumped into the NFT world was because, well, I have a cybersecurity background, and I started seeing a lot of tweets like scams about NFTs, scams about the NFTs, and I said, what the hell is going on with the NFT and scams? And of course, I wasn't into NFTs, and it was irresponsible for me to give advice or say anything about those problems. So I said, okay, I have to enter into the NFT world in order to know how it works. understand everything I need to understand in order to be able to help them, to give them tools to be protected. That was the only way. I mean, how could I help somebody in some field if I don't understand that field that person is in? I have to. I mean, there's no book about security and NFT for dummies yet, but if somebody writes it, I will get it. Yeah, Stan, you have a question?
I don't.
Hi,
I just
Stan.
hi. How are you?
What's
I
up?
just quick. Sorry, my throat. I just saw Tanya's space, and I quickly wanted to jump in to say hello to Tanya. SB, how are you? I see you. If I miss anybody, wow, you packed a lot of people today. Cham, how are you? If I missed anybody, apologies and greetings, everyone.
Great seeing you, Stan. It's always a pleasure
You
seeing you.
too. Happy
Welcome.
Friday.
Happy Friday. So, yeah, we have NFT Herder here giving some incredible tips and stories that wow, I'm like, my eyes are open, plus more. So, we're opening up the mic right now, everybody. So, if anybody have any questions, go ahead and pop up and let's continue our conversation. I think we usually only go for 60 minutes, but we can go a little bit longer. Alberto, you want to go like another half an hour?
Well, I mean, this Tonya, you're out of this community. These spaces about that is last for are non-stop. They are like at least 6 hours.
We'll go. Let's go.
I mean, the
Let's
pattern of all of
go.
us. The pattern of all of us is that we all have problems with the sleeping. Our hours of sleep are like at least 50% than the normal. I mean, we all have issues with sleeping. I mean, that's something that we all share in common. All the people here in the space. I bet there's nobody who is out. I mean, you know me. You know that I can be. Well, my record is 18 hours of a space non-stop. So yesterday in a space about NFTs with this celebrity Russell Davis and uh, Adam was there. There was this girl, Red Bull. I don't remember her exact handle. She told me that she had hosted a space for 15 hours. So I think that we should create a record, a world of records of how long is the how is the who is the longest space run. So, Adam, do you have a question? You were there last night. Adam? Yeah, some people said that they also fell asleep during hosting a space, which is my case in one time. Yeah, they thought I was kidnapped, but I was alive. You have your raised hand against Stan. If not, we go to Shin.
Yeah, this time I do have something to say. uh, 24 hours, probably even more. I think I forgot to sleep by now. I was just going to be opening up a space for 2 hours.
Well, yeah, I don't even know. I'm old
And
school. So
SB was in that space, and then SB left, and SB came back, and I'm like, wow, you guys are still going?
well, I think that's what happened when I met NFT Herder. I think Alberto left, or he was here in spirit at that moment, and he
I
left,
was
and
I was
I
on
took over.
I was on both spaces at the same time. That's a pro. I mean, when you realize that you are on two spaces at the same time, you have a problem. And it is 4 a.m. and you are in two spaces at the same time. Wow, man, you need help.
I have to hold on. I have to like unmute myself so I can talk. I'm laughing so hard. Yeah, I think that is a problem. Like yeah, it's a problem. But no, that's how we all connected anyways. It was kind of interesting. But no, we can continue on. Like I said, we had total like an hour. We had 163 total listeners. It was really cool. We had like 47% women, or yeah, 47%, 53% and men. So there was at one time we were almost at a 50-50, and that's really cool because on Twitter is only usually is 30%
Yeah, my
women.
perception. I mean, my perception is that those numbers about males and females are not right. I mean, I don't think that almost 50% of the people here are females. That's not my perception.
I'd like to add something. It's like it's amazing. I had a space, and my co-host in the morning is Giant, and oh my God, I'm blanking out. Not enough sleep. Gio, and two amazing people. So amazing that I just blanked out Gio's name. Wow, that sucks. That shows how good of a friend I am. But no, to my defense, I think I haven't slept like 30 hours. And
Oh, it's time to sleep.
then I'm like, they had to go, and I just left my space open because I had awesome guests, and I had to jump into a meeting. I come back, and all of a sudden, it's like mindset is in my space. I'm like, oh my God! And as I was coming in, he was just leaving, and then D stepped up, and D was amazing, and that's what happens. Like you get amazing co-hosts that are like generating fire, and like, how do you put the fire out? You know. And it's like, look at you, Tanya. Look at how many amazing people you get have in your space. Like, how do you put that out? And all of a sudden, it's like it's so hard to turn up the space, and then you just get addicted to amazing people, and you just can't get enough of them.
I do understand that, but I have a hubby and a house full of people. They're talking really loud too, by the way. But
Oh no, I don't mean why you closing the space. It was to my defense of keeping the space open for more than 24 hours.
I don't know. I did 8 hours, and that was just like took the energy out of me. So but I'm go ahead and get the Gen Dude NFT underscore NFT. I like your name, by the way. What's up?
Hey, thanks for inviting me up. And okay, Hotshot, great to see you again. Really appreciate all the knowledge you're dropping and protecting us, especially I think from the side of the artists. Like, artists are generally like our minds are wrapped around the creative side and not really aware of the risks. And even those artists that are adventurous enough to get into the space, still, there's a huge learning curve. I wanted to throw out an idea. I don't know. I know I keep asking this in different spaces if there's like, sort of decentralized resource for this type of information where we can, because as you mentioned, there's information's out there, but sometimes it's like gathering it and putting it into one's place is tricky. I did find this. There's a Git book app, which is it's kind of cool. It's like a like a shared resource for collaborating on books by GitHub, and it might be a cool way to sort of consolidate a bunch of information between from security, from marketing and all that type of stuff. So I was just throwing that idea out there. I don't know if you were aware of that or how, I guess into the community too, like if anybody knows of any like resources, both in terms of like, protecting yourselves and then also from the other side, marketing.
Yeah, this is a point that comes up a lot because it doesn't seem to be like sort of a standard to point at. It also, lots of these things you can just look at crypto security and use it on NFT security as well. So you should look at like wallet security, hardware wallet security. It's just look at all the crypto stuff that's already been out there for years and apply it to NFTs. As if you want to talk about specific NFT things, this depends, and people have different opinions about like what the security of an NFT should be and what you should look at. Also, I don't have time to write all these things because I don't see that. It's not my job. It's not part of what I do. I'm like a market analyst, and I just don't have the time to start like a website and write all these things out, even though I use them daily. It's just not how I want to spend my time personally. Like I like to avoid writing a lot of things. I just want to do, I just want to execute. and not a big fan of doing that. But yeah, there's definitely a need for it, but that need can only be sort of well, how do you call it? You can only sort of supply that information if that information is correct. And a lot of these things, like the example that, like, there's a lot of people in the market that want, like, to say that utility, an NFT with utility should be the most valuable standard to attain. It's like, yeah, how should you evaluate a NFT before buying in? And lots of people say, like, utility, it needs to have utility. Well, they want that to be true, the people saying that. But if you've looked at the data, you wouldn't say that, because the market doesn't care about utility at all. It's like the data clearly suggests that the market decides either to buy an NFT without any utility, which is art, or sometimes they buy only NFTs with extreme utility, like to have a token and you can stake it and you can burn it and all that kind of stuff. But it's clearly that the majority of the market doesn't care about utility at all. So yes, you could, like, write an article or make a resource that says, okay, the valuation of an NFT project should be based on these metrics, which is utility and this and that. But yeah, you could write that, but unless you've looked at the data, you should probably not make any absolute statements on that. You could be spreading, like, incorrect information. So yeah, but people will most likely write it anyway to get traction to their website and maybe sell, like, a course or something.
Yeah, I guess, and the other difficulty in that is the fluidity of all the information, way that things change, and even you pointing out the fact about the airdropped NFTs being an exploit, although it's obviously now it's been patched and dealt with, but that, those things pop up and then disappear, and so it's really hard to keep the information relevant. So, but I'm thinking about this in terms of, like, the project I'm building, because a lot of the people I'm going to invite, may or may not have NFT experience. So I'm trying to build, like, a guidebook. So at least they've been, warned to some degree of, how to, the basics, take care of your wallet, your seed phrases, don't write shit down.
But that's, like, most of that is just crypto security, and
Yeah.
really, you don't have to write an NFT security book for that. You could call it NFT and maybe sort of get on the hype train of the NFT market just to sell more, but it's just basic crypto security. It's not,
Correct. And
that's not NFT specific.
No, and I wouldn't. I would only say, like, things for artists that, vis-a-vis Discord, things to be aware of. Like, just protocols, the things, the basic things that people should avoid doing. Turn off your direct messages and things like that. All the really basics. I'm just saying, consolidating it into one place, but no, I appreciate all that you bring to the space and the clarity, and I love hearing of your exploits, and so keep up the good work.
Yeah, thanks. I have this Twitter account, and all the threads I wrote and all the data I shared is still on there. Lots of people sort of search just the NFT account. Like, if you would, for instance, you just use Twitter search on my account and type in Discord or Discord security, you would see all these tips on what to do and what to avoid and all these alerts. Same goes for other keywords. So you can sort of use that if you want to sort of skim through it. But obviously it's, like, limited, right? Because you can only use, like, a couple of characters on a tweet, and that's it. So I wouldn't really know a source to point at. It's like, yeah, if people want to write that, it's not necessarily what I would do myself, but there's a need for it in some way. But if that is just based on opinion, I don't think that would bring a lot of value, to be honest.
Okay, so you're hosting spaces on a regular basis on certain time, and you're running your analysis online. I keep thinking about this case of the 17-year-old guy who was in the room real time where all that was happening. That was crazy. So when do you run your spaces?
I run a space every Sunday, which is called Alpha and Chill. And it's sort of like we look back at the week, and I'll share a bit of market data and what the market is doing, so everyone sort of gets a grasp of where we are. And I talk a bit about what's going on the security side, but it's like not a deep dive. We're just more like, it's Sunday, you know, grab your blanket and your coffee or your tea, and let's chill together. It's not one of these sort of extreme alpha spaces where you only want like, oh, what's the next market move? What should I buy? Well, this and that and the other. It's mostly just sort of relaxing, where I share some insights and look back what's going on. And the space seems to be very popular. I get lots of listeners during the time I host. See, I like it. I, to be honest, I need the space myself as well, sort of cool off from the week, and sort of hang with everyone. And I'll throw some gems out just to talk about it, because I like talking about NFTs and crypto. So yeah, that's the only one I host right now. I may do another space in the future. So I'm thinking about doing maybe 2 spaces, maybe like one on Wednesday and like one on Sunday, something like that. But yeah, people are free to follow my account. You know, I post daily if they like this type of subject.
Surely, I'm following you. And Pieter, thank you for introducing me into the NFT world and security. You have a question?
Yeah. Hey, Hotshot. What time is Alpha and Chill typically at?
To be honest, I don't know. It's there's no schedule for it. You know, it's sort of on the fly. But it crosses like 3 time zones. So it's, for Americans, it's like early in the morning. It's like I think like we usually start between 8, 9, 9:30 in the morning, where you sort of start waking up. For your Yeah, and for Europeans, it's like in the afternoon. Like if you're in London or in Europe, the Alpha and Chill space is in the afternoon, probably around like 2 or 3:30 in the afternoon. And if you're in Australia, it's late at night, like past 11. You know, I don't like to set like a firm date and time. Sort of like, it's going to be on Sunday, and it's going to run for a couple of hours because we touch base on multiple things. Yeah, so yeah, either there or you're not. That's it.
Okay, if anybody has any question, please ask for the microphone. Tonya, she's running analytics right now.
Yeah, I am actually. I'm looking at the numbers and see who's here. Solar Life is in this space. I want to see if you want to come up also.
Yeah, I'm free to answer some questions if there's questions about NFTs in the market. Anyone feels free to come up and ask.
Don't miss this opportunity. Okay, we have request. RFGC Ethereum. Okay. Hello, how are you? You have a question?
I want to ask, will you be trying to get your second account unsuspended?
No, I have a second account, which was the Alpha and Chill account, actually, which they also falsely reported for impersonation. So I have my original account, which is the NFT herder, and then I had a second account for the Alpha and Chill spaces, which I host every Sunday. And they reported both accounts for impersonation, and both accounts got suspended. And both accounts, in both appeals for these accounts, Twitter.
Why don't you give me the? Let's try to get that unsuspended too. It doesn't make sense for it to be suspended in the first place.
Yeah, let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that, but like I was like very happy to get my main account back, and it's like, okay, I'll just keep on going on this one. Yeah, but we could try it if you guys are willing to help. We could
Yeah,
sort of talk
I would
off.
totally help.
We could talk off spaces and see what's
I
possible. But
just I just do a DM. I don't know what the worst it could be.
yeah, we could
No.
try. We could try. But it doesn't matter if it doesn't work out. It's just an Alpha and Show account. It was a backup account which I created for the exactly for this situation where people would retaliate against the information I was sharing. That's why I have these accounts created, because that's part of what I do. That's just one of the consequences.
What are the kind of threats that you receive? I mean, what was the worst thing that happened to you while because of running this kind of exposing this kind of projects and people?
No, I don't really get threads because they don't really know who I am or where I reside. So yeah, they can sort of cuss and be mad, but I don't think I've been like threatened with anything. They'll just sort of annoy me and harass me and follow me around spaces. And they'll try to get the mic on this space, for instance, and then they jump on and they will just start like throwing out racist slurs. Sort of like attention grabbing thing, like sort of these harassers. It's not really threatening at all to me, but that's just sort of what they do. Sort of like online trolls, harassment. I don't understand why they're doing it in the first place, because if you run a scam ring, why leave tracks? Get in, do the scam, get out, leave nothing behind, and then never share it with anyone. But in case most of these people, they're like very attention seeking. Like most of them will talk to me. I've talked to quite a few scammers already, and most of them are open to talk about the scam and what they're doing. And it's really strange to me because I'm thinking like, dude, do you even realize you stole like 100 grand from someone? And that's real money. And you're here talking to me about how you're doing it and why you're doing it. And they all seem to have that thing. Like if you reach out to them and you give them some attention, they'll just sit down with you and exactly sort of, I don't know why they do. It's sort of like this narcissistic quality that comes with those personality traits that make it able to run these scams in the first place, I think. So yeah, from a criminal point of view, I'd never do something like that. If you were a criminal, you don't want to leave traces. You don't want to talk about the scams you run, I guess. But that's why I'm not a criminal. I have no idea. These people, I talk to them a lot. There's been one instance where I straight up approached a scammer, alleged scammer, in their Discord, and I looked at their contract and I sort of went in and I said, well, it's kind of shady that this code is in your contract, because this is usually a piece of code that you would see in someone that would exit scam a project. It's like, so I started talking about this, and the person like straight up said, yeah, it's a scam, but can you please be quiet about it, because I'm trying to make some money. Like, I kid you not, that was the answer. I was sort of taken aback because that was a first response. It's like usually it's like, oh, it's sort of denial and personal attacks. But this person straight up said it. It was like, yeah, it's a scam, but please don't share with anyone publicly. Yeah, trying to make some money, man. It's like, oh, okay.
That's funny. I mean, one day I received a message, a private message with a link, and I knew it was phishing, but I click anyway, and I messaged the guy and I said, "Are you getting access to my computer?" And he said, "Yes." He was being honest, and we started talking. And okay, tell me what's the size of my hard disk. And he told me, hold on, hold on. And well, I was watching the connection activity, and at one point, I told him, okay, okay, have you established reverse connection? No, I'm about to do it. Okay, at that point, I disconnected him, and we kept talking. I mean, and he said, "Oh, I lost connection," and I told him, "Yeah, I know. Tell me, how many people are clicking on this link?" And he told me, "Wow, like 60 or 80%. Wow, that's a lot. That's really a lot." And Twitter was not detecting that link as malicious. Yeah, and well, we started talking about his activity, and well, I told him, "Wow, you have skills. Well, thank you." And we ended up changing Telegram numbers and talking on Telegram. I mean, he was honest. I asked him, are you entering into my computer? Yes, I am. Hold on, give me some time. He was asking me for time. I mean, he was online, so we established rapport there. That has so many crazy things happen. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
incredible.
it's crazy if they're sort of honest about it. Most of them aren't though, but some of them are willing to directly share it. But all of them, I think, want someone to give them attention. It seems, and
Yeah,
sometimes they will actively seek it.
yeah, and I have a question because you were mentioning about this being a victim of criminal threat that you were not, but any of these people that have stolen millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars in Ethereum or any other coin have been sent to prison for these crimes? Because actually they're stealing money from others. So I have no idea about when it comes to criminal charges in these situations. They should go to prison.
Uh, I agree, but to start off with, it's an unregulated market, and unregulated markets come with risk. Mostly the risk that you're responsible for your own actions. You are in regulated markets as well, but in unregulated markets, there's a bigger risk. Also, it's a global market, and yeah, you have a lot of different jurisdictions. So, like, if in case of this specific scam ring with the creature toads, they're located in most of them are located in America, and in America, what they've done is a form of wire fraud, in my opinion. Mind you, I am no expert on this, but yeah, that would be wire fraud. I could consider that wire fraud. They've stolen, between 4 to 6 million US dollars in the past 8 to 9 weeks, which is a significant amount of money. And there seem to be no consequences for these people doing it, because there's not really a lot of people looking. And if you are looking, there's not a lot of people filing claims against them. Even if you would file a claim or a police report, at least you have sort of the documentation to push it ahead. But then you still need someone to find the real life identities of these people. And that's sort of where I step in and sort of I could be able to help, where like someone else with the same sort of skill set could step in. But most of these victims, they just take the hit. Even like a big company like Phantom Galaxies, most of them just seem to take the hit, refund, and move on. But yeah, it would be nice to see some real life consequences come out of this, because these people, they go from scam to scam to scam, and they don't stop. But this is not an NFT specific thing. This is like if you look at crypto, I think there was an instance where this woman was running a sort of MLM crypto scam. This was years ago, and I think they funneled around, like, I don't know, 3 to 400 million US dollars from victims. And I don't think most of those people are in prison or ever seen prison. They were wanted and they were on a wanted list, but like I think only 2 people of them like got in front of a judge. But most of them, they got away with 400 million US dollars. That's yeah, that's kind of disappointing to see.
Yeah, I think most of the cases of people into cryptos that I know were sent to prison were related to exchanges, for example, that actually the charges were money laundering and stuff like that, but we're talking about very, very high profile cases where we're talking about probably maybe in the terms of billions of dollars that were detected to be the source of that being ransomware or any other computer crimes. So there are a few. I mean, there would much more people feeling charges for. I mean, yeah, you said also people do not report that, and if they do, we hosted many spaces about cybersecurity and talking about harassment and the cases about women being victims of harassment online are a lot, and when they go to report it to the police, 100% of the cases, I mean, 100, all of them, they didn't get any kind of support, answer, or solution to their problem. that's very sad. And if they cannot help in a case of that, I think this is too naive to believe they can cope with that. A report of a fraud or scam related to NFTs or cryptos. I mean, remember, Tonya, Interpol asked me 2 weeks ago, Alberto, can you teach us about bitcoins or cryptocurrencies? Because we are having a lot of reports of the scams and we have no clue about that, what to do with them. Oh, fuck, that sucks. I mean, that's terrible.
We're in 21st century, so think about this. Think about these detectives and these police officers who's been on the force for like 20, 30 years. They have never, and probably have never, don't even go on social media. So to ask these people to be the person detectives to look for, to research these type of scams or anything like this in the NFT world or in crypto, I don't think we're gonna get further anymore because they're outdated. They don't. Not, I hate to sound that bad, but they don't quite understand it, and that's why they have to reach out to you know. So that's why they asked you, Alberto.
Well,
Yeah, I know instances where like victims of crypto scams, they lost like significant amounts of money, and they filed a police report, or they wanted to file a police report so at least they can go to these exchanges and get the account shut down. And they told me like the police wouldn't write the report up because they thought Bitcoin itself was a scam, and they laughed at their face, and they were like, "Well, we lost like like a significant chunk of our total net worth." It's like, nope, we're not writing a report for that. Mind you, this was a couple of years ago. Mentality sort of changed, but this was back in the day.
Well, in my case, Interpol raided my apartment. They said two metallic physical bitcoins, and they show on the press, okay, we said bitcoin from the house of this guy, and they were showing the physical coins that they were thinking those were the bitcoins. So imagine that's pathetic.
Yeah, well, they're gonna have to get a re-education because in the future, you part of forensic
That's why
analysis.
they called him. That's why they asked him to help them.
Let's say, in the future, parts of forensic analysis or in a criminal investigation is going to be the blockchain. If you're not in like if you're in any form of an investigation, you may want to consider learning how the blockchain works and how to do wallet analysis and forensic analysis on the blockchain, that kind of stuff, because that's going to be part of the future, man. In my opinion, obviously, but yeah, I don't see any way around it. Like the market's going to grow overall. It's only going to get bigger as we move forward, and then sooner or later, all these crimes are moving to where the money is. And if the money is not in fiat and the money is in crypto, that's just where the scammers go, and that's just where the money laundering is going to go, and all these other bad actors going to go. But it's still going to be like a very small amount of the market is going to be that. I think one of the best reports I read about it was this 2019 or 18 report, something like that. Like less than 1% in the crypto market at the time was used for money laundering. And that was a pretty good report. They did a pretty good analysis on that, in my opinion. If you want to launder money, crypto may be faster, but if you don't want to get caught, fiat is the way to go. That's less riskier from a criminal point of view. If you do it on a blockchain, people are going to find you. There's no way around it. People are just going to find you. It's just a matter of time. But if you launder money with cash, it's very hard. Way harder. So yeah, don't want to give out any tips, but I think that's like a sort of general knowledge.
Yeah, tomorrow I said that I was hosting a bilingual space about security and NFTs with Choco, who is not here anymore, I think. But before that, at 6 p.m. my time, which is like 4 p.m. Eastern time, I think, I will be in a space hosting with Jonathan Scott, and Estonia Jonathan, from the
Why don't you pin it on the
Okay, I will. Choco is here. Choco, sorry, but before your space, I'm in another space about NFTs, and this guy Jonathan, he is basically, he has all the skills. He works in a company related to blockchain technology, and this guy can he has the skills to trace back criminals, and he's actually doing that in his job. So that would be a very interesting space. I mean, the knowledge this person has is amazing. I have just pinned on the net that space. Choco, if you want to pin our space, you can. Yeah, that's. I
Tomorrow.
mean,
Hi, good
hi, Choco.
evening.
Hi, Choco.
Thanks.
Hi, Tonya. Hi, everyone.
Well, can you tell us about our space tomorrow? What time is it? Because I
You
forgot.
have space. You forgot about it at 7 p.m. Miami time. Your time is 9 p.m., I think, about NFT and cybersecurity. Is yeah, almost the same topic like here.
Yeah, but the difference is that here we have an expert that has been fighting against the criminal for a long time.
And tomorrow we will have expert. Oh.
And the expert is not me, it's next to me.
You can invite him so we can have an expert too. Oh, our space is bilingual in Spanish and English.
Yeah, you are in charge of the translation, by the way, because I cannot do that.
No, that's so hard.
I cannot do it, Choco. Sorry.
I just speak in Spanish. You will speak in English and translate for them.
No way, I cannot concentrate. I have deficit attention disorder. It's impossible.
Oh yeah, but yeah, that was your idea. So
Okay, let's do it bilingual. No problem. Let's do it bilingual.
Okay, can we
Tanya, you
continue
know,
on?
right? Tanya, you know,
Can we
right?
continue on to my show right now, our show? You can come tomorrow. So oh my god, Alberto, you cracking me up. Oh my gosh.
I'm not funny.
Yeah,
I'm not funny,
I
Tonya.
have to tune in tomorrow because I want to see a Spanglish show. Yeah, that's
And
what
I
it
want
is, right?
I want you to run analytics and stream it via YouTube. So I want you there. Yeah.
I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you.
Yeah,
I have the following.
you're my ancient Asian.
You can't even say it. You
I
can't
can't
even say it.
because my
Say
broken
it. Say
English
it. Say it
starts
again. Say it again. Come on. Come on.
Asian,
Say it again.
Asian. Okay, make fun of me. Okay. What? Okay, Choco, say it. You say it. Try to say it. Asian.
No, I can't.
Okay, stop.
Asian.
This is our joke. Not you don't need to share this joke. This is our joke.
And you are mine. I don't share you with anybody.
Of course.
Exclusivity.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no. I remember when he DMs me one time. I know right after I'm dying laughing because right after that space, NFT heard his space. When I was in Hotshot space. And it was like there were like over 1,200 people in there. So Alberto finishes. I guess he left. He comes back and then he DMs me. I want exclusivity. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
No, Tanya and I have we're talking about a double space. We're gonna host our own spaces. Sorry, Alberto. This is inevitable. It's too much. It's too much positive analytics. I mean,
okay.
She'll do the social media analytics. I'll do the blockchain analytics. It's a deadly combo right there.
Okay, I can cope with this. I mean, it will take me time I mean, emotionally I'm broken, but okay, if that's going to happen, I accept that.
You know, I would never know you now.
Alberto Drama Hill.
He calls me Alberto Drama Hill. Well, Choco, that's so rude. I mean, there's no drama in my life.
No, okay.
So Tanya, we have to sign those contracts. I don't want you to work with this guy.
Okay, of course.
Just kidding.
Can
Go
I
ahead,
ask you?
Guy.
Can I ask you a question, Tanya
Sure.
and Alberto? Do you own any NFTs? Have you bought any?
I actually have. I have posted. I wrote a book, and it is an NFT format. And so I have not bought any. I have not bought any. Actually, I have no money to buy anything to invest, but I have posted at my book as an NFT. So that's my experience so far. That it was pretty easy. I mean, that's something that I mean, many people when they enter, they have absolutely no clue on what to do it. And there was a woman that I met on a space, and she told me, "I will teach you." And she told me, I mean, I could have Googled how to do it, but this person was willing to do it with me. And well, it was a very easy process. So everybody who wants to publish anything as an NFT, it's very easy. So I mean, I'm not an expert on that, so I cannot tell you to ask me for help, because I might not be the right person. But there's plenty of people in the community that are surely wanting to help and guide anyone who wants to enter into that as an artist or as a buyer. So, Tonya, do you have anything?
I'm dying laughing with you though. No, I don't even have a wallet. I'm supposed to get one. I had the
Tonya,
clients when
I didn't install one on your cellular. Don't you remember?
no, no, I have to get that hard wallet and the soft wallet before I can do anything. What are you talking about?
In the cellular, the blockchain
Oh yeah,
application.
yeah. But that isn't that like considered almost like a soft wallet?
Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, it is
Well,
one
I
of
want
the
a
offers.
hard wallet too.
Oh, and I want you to read my whole book, but that's impossible, Tonya. Come on, step by step. You're still staring at the
I
cover of my
have
book.
going on right now. Okay, do you understand? I have a lot going on. My goal is to dissect every single one of my Twitter spaces that I have like 250 something Twitter spaces I've done since I've been on Twitter spaces, I mean. So that's what's going on. But I'm planning to have one because I want to start some projects, and I actually finished my first story, my first blog. I wrote it about colorblind underscore Adam about his NFT projects, and I'm actually waiting really right now for my developer to give me the final link. But I hope he enjoys the main picture that I created for him with his work and describing his story. And I hope that he loves and understand the multimedia aspect of the story. So it's not going to be like a picture and a boring 500 words. I don't do that to you. I write like pictures, videos, snippets, and all kind of stuff. So
Well,
we
I
I
have, yeah, I have to add that yesterday we were in a space with, I said, with Russell Davis, who is a celebrity from Rescue Bar. He's actually traveling all over the world, opening bars, and well, he and I we are very interested on starting a project about NFTs, and we have this huge space yesterday with so many people giving. It was like a brainstorm of the possibilities of like were endless. I mean, the mind of Russell blow up. I mean, it was like from buying tickets VIP to enter a bar to, I don't know, to making payment, tipping the bartender with NFTs, getting I don't know. It was like the possibilities were endless. People had such a great imagination, and they were so creative that I had to write. I was writing down a list that was like 2 pages of things to study. And yeah, I mean, that guy, if wants to do something and with me, and I want to do something about NFTs right now. I mean, it's a perfect moment to do it. And being
you
part.
guys should hook up with like either like Bacardi. You know, Bacardi has some really good stuff going on right now. So I used to work. I was actually a Bacardi Limon girl. I launched Bacardi Limon back in the '90s, so I know everything about that company. But yeah, that you guys can do something with them. I've done some press passes for Food and Wine Weekend. So apparently now that's going to be the thing where they're going to have their own NFT with the Food and Wine Weekend. So I used to do the South Beach one. I've done the Boca Raton one. And there's a real big one that they do this year. That's coming up soon in January. So yeah, a Food and Wine Weekend. You should get hooked up with those and any liquor companies. I'm telling you.
Well,
And
one thing that blew his mind. I mean, the possibilities with the liquor industry. Yeah, that was something that was something.
I got Sephora. I can totally hook you guys up with that. Sephora. I got Sephora USA. I did a whole social media campaign with them. So they say that was the like I got free beer out of it. I really didn't do anything, but they loved it. They ran with the concept. So, but they supplied like my whole tweet up with beer. We got free beer. I guess I've done it several times actually. But you guys can do that. You can hook yourself up with it like a liquor company, and then get the NFT aspect from it.
Well, I mean, being in contact with people from the industry of entertainment and those contacts that you mentioned, I mean, this should benefit, I think, all the community of NFT because people are going to be more aware of this thing going on. And okay, if they have a celebrity behind a project of NFTs, then they will probably visibility of all the projects will increase. So getting these people engaged because he was really, I mean, he's an actor, but and a bartender, but he really understood the concept behind NFTs.
And
And
why didn't you invite him to our party right now? That's what I want to know. Why
I
didn't you
I
invite him to
just
the party?
he's in Virgin Islands right now, and I invited him, but he didn't show up. Yesterday it was so funny because when I invited him, he showed up. It was like 10 minutes without grabbing the microphone, and then he sent me a direct message and he sent me, "How do I speak?" And I said, go to the lower left corner and click on mic request. And then minutes after that, he said, I'm on my PC. Oh man, go grab your cellular. You cannot speak from your computer. Yeah, I invited him here, but I think he didn't show up. But
No,
uh,
I'm just giving you a hard time. NFT heard
no,
Hotshot,
but
what's going
I
on,
mean,
man?
no, but I mean, he was in like this week. He was like every day on a space. Choco, you are witness of that. I, yes, you are, Choco. Choco fell in love with Russell. He's so sweet, isn't he?
Oh, he's so sweet. He's so kind, so marvelous.
So love is happening in an NFT community also.
So
I want to thank everyone for listening, and I want to thank you, Tonya and Alberto, for inviting me to this space, and thank you for helping out. I do have to go now. I have to finish up my analysis on some charts. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining and retweeting the space. Much appreciated. Hope it brought some value or some insights. And I'm pretty sure I'll run into most of you. And maybe we should do this again, or maybe
no,
we'll-
definitely. Let's do it. Do another one.
Absolutely, yeah.
maybe
You know what?
we'll run into each other in other spaces. I'm pretty sure about that.
You know what would be dope if Tanya and Alberto join Alpha and Chill as just listeners and potential speakers.
Yes, sir.
I
Yeah,
can run the
I agree.
analytics for you on Sunday.
I feel Sunday is a analytics free day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to.
No analytics on Sunday. It's like it's Sunday, just chill day for me at least. But yeah, thanks for inviting me. I really enjoyed the conversation, and yeah, we'll stay in touch. I'll follow up on the stuff we talked about, and if anyone feels um, like this information was valuable, or you want to follow me, please go ahead. And if you want to join the Alpha Chill space, that's every Sunday. And everyone's welcome. It's mostly just chilling, looking back, unwinding, but also talking a little bit about the market and NFTs, of course, because
Yeah.
you know
And if you're a
that's why we're
criminal,
here.
if you're a criminal running a scam on NFT, you can join the stage and discuss that with him. I mean, those things happen. That's crazy.
Yeah, you can also, if you're that, you can also please send me your wallet address so I can directly do analysis and see where you're at, so we can alert some authorities and some exchanges and freeze your accounts. That would be very helpful. If you're listening, please feel free to send the wallet.
Thank you very much, Hotshot. It's been a pleasure. I mean, it's been
Thank you,
wonderful.
Hotshot.
And thank you most of all for helping all these people in the community. For not, I mean, that you are giving a great service to the community. Thank you very much.
No, thank you for helping me and everyone listening. Absolutely feeling the love. And I hope you all have a great day or night wherever you are.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and down the show. And
Later,
everybody, I
Hotshot.
appreciate everybody being here. We'll be back next Friday at 9 p.m. Again, we went 2 hours long. So again, everybody, have an awesome Friday, and I'll be back tomorrow with my co-host here, Alberto. Alberto.
My ancient agent. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.